It's a signing that low risk, high reward. That's what I'm looking for. Low risk, high reward. What's up, y'all? It's JC. If you're new, welcome to the channel. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. So the Houston Texans signed former All-Pro running back Nick Chubb. Now, what does this mean for the Houston Texans and Nick Chubb? Now, we know in 2023, Nick Chubb tore his ACL. I believe that game was against the Steelers. Hit took a mean hit by Minka Fitzpatrick, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Came back last year midway, played 8 games, rushed for like 333 yards around that area, and he wasn't himself. He wasn't the Nick Chubb that we got accustomed to seeing in that Browns uniform. I think averaged about 3.3 yards carry, 3 rushing touchdowns, had a receiving touchdown, but he just wasn't, like I said, the Nick Chubb that we were used to seeing in Cleveland. Now the Browns moved on. They got, they drafted 2 young running backs in this NFL draft, Judkins, and I forget the other guy's name. I know Sampson, I believe, from Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So next chapter, they move on. Nick Chubb will be turning 30 in December, so that's another thing to think about. And he, finds his way to Houston. Now, when you look at Houston, the look at the backfield. You got Joe Mixon, who's coming off a great season. You got Damian Pierce, who about his rookie year, you would have thought that he would have been the guy. He would have been the guy moving forward as that lead guy in Houston, but they brought in Joe Mixon and he took a back seat. You also have Woody Marks, running back out of USC, and then I believe they still have Dare Agumbawale, kind of special teams, emergency kicker. He's good in pass pro, good receiving back. So it's quite a crowded backfield when you look at it, and when you look at who's going to get touches. Now, this Houston Texans team, of course, last year riddled with injuries, especially on the offensive side, with Diggs and Tank Dell, even Nico missing time, even Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon missed some time. Cam Akers had to step in a couple of games, try to uh, fill that fill that role, and uh, that that was something that pretty much hampered the Houston Texans, I would say, season. Even though it still made it to playoffs, still won a playoff game, but it was that if, right, if those guys were all healthy, like what would have happened? But of course, with football, injuries happen. That just the nature of the game. Extremely violent and physical sport. Now, when you look at Nick Chubb and his style, he's a he's not a shifty guy per se, but he tough physical runner. I would say like a one cut get up the field type of guy. He's hard to get down, and that's him in his prime. So we're talking 2 3 years prior to the ACL. And then when you think of a Joe Mixon, he can pretty much do a little bit of everything, right? He can make guys miss, but he can also run a guy over. And I would like to point this out: Joe Mixon, he's one of the best red zone running backs. I don't even know if that's a thing, but it's like when dude gets the ball in the red zone, it's like he gets like a turbo boost. Like he gets one of those. What's in Mario when he becomes invincible and he just you can't really stop him, and that's what Joe Mixon gets him in that red zone. So I think if Nick Chubb was to make the team, it would be a great compliment. Now, I said if because you never know. Of course, you see a big name like Nick Chubb, you get excited, and then you never know what can happen before the season started. Guys can get cut, or whatever the case may be. So you just gotta hold off and see what happens. Try to see what happens first. Um, and then when you look at the other guys, Damian Pierce, who I should say, who would be the odd man out? Like I mentioned, Damian Pierce, um, Woody Marks, the rookie, Dare Ngumbuwale. You look at Damian Pierce, he made his since his rookie year, he's kind of made his mark on special teams. He's had a couple of kick return touchdowns. I know last game he had a pretty good game versus Tennessee. Um, so he has talent. The talent is there. Look at Woody Marks. Pretty much don't really know much about him. And you would think first year he wouldn't be the guy to get moved if you know it came down to that situation where one guy has to go. And then when you look at Dare Gumbawale, a special teamer, he contributes, you know, multiple ways. So, like I said, special teams, he pass pro, he's good at pass pro, good receiving back, emergency kicker as well. So that's something to think about. Now, with the new offensive coordinator, you know, you never know how, he prefers his guys. So you just don't know yet. But if Nick Chubb was even like 75% of what he was at his peak in Cleveland, I think this is a great signing for Houston. But like I said, you gotta wait, pump the brakes, see what happens. From what I read, it was a 1 year deal. So, like I said, I don't know the details of the deal. I'll try to find it if I find it by the time I edit this video, I'll post it as I'm talking right now. But don't know the details. 1 year deal seems expendable. Like pump the brakes, pump the brakes. But yeah, if Nick Chubb can be 75% of his peak, I would say even 70% high. I think Joe Mixon, like I said, Joe Mixon, he's a beast. He's still a beast. He carried the load. I think this will be a great gift for Houston. It's kind of it's a signing that I would say low risk, high reward. That's what I'm looking for. Low risk, high reward. Those are my thoughts. In the comments, let me know yours.